All cults have one thing in common: followers who were deceived. Earlier, we spoke with a brave mother who learned the truth about children of God and decided to break free from the following.
Christina Babin was just a baby when her mother joined Children of God.
Some of my earliest memories of being in the cult were very nice. People singing and dancing around campfires, hugging and kissing, but that was very short-lived and very rare.
It was the 1970s, and followers were being promised purpose, but that lie quickly unraveled.
Our parents were taught, as well as us, that they were not our parents, that the cult was our parent. To show love in an individual way and in a special way to your children was frowned on.
Instead of bedtime stories, Christina was told horrific tales about the world ending.
You were constantly on guard. You never felt safe.
The cult's founder, David Berg, told members that God was love and love was sex, regardless of age or consent.
We had this concept that females especially were here to serve men sexually.
Christina first experienced sexual abuse at age 12.
The founder had this divine idea from God that women should be prostitutes to the outside world, to bring in men, to give us financial stability.
At age 21, Christina breaks free from the following.
It took years for me to be able to accept the concept that I could live in the outside world.
Today, Children of God is rebranded, with two of the cult's top leaders operating under the name The Family International.
The top leadership, Karen Zerbe and Sarah Kelly, who are the ones who instigated and promoted all of the abuse that I endured as a child, are still free. It's very concerning to me that the FBI and the CIA are not finding them and holding them accountable.
Christina, thank you so much for joining us and for speaking out on behalf of cult survivors. What are some of your earliest memories of being in a cult?
We used to sing and dance and play music around campfires, and we all hugged, and it was very authentic and very real, and there was an edge of desperateness to it because we were taught that we were all alone, that it was just us against the world, that the outside world was out to get us, that it was bad, that it was selfish. So we really clung to each other, but at the same time, we were taught that everybody outside of our group was bad and evil.
That's how you isolate people. So scary. Something that separates Children of God from other cults, Christina, is this concept of flirty fishing. Can you explain to our DBL Nation what that is? How did that shape your views?
So the Children of God started out as a very puritanical, very traditional type of religion. They started out with no sex, no marriage, no holding hands or kissing. And as they isolated everybody, the founder started taking liberties and trying to control people. And one of the ways that he controlled people was through sex. And it got so far as for a time in the group, they were sending the women out to be prostitutes. And we were told they were prostitutes. We were told our mothers were prostitutes, and that's what women should do, bring men to God. It was really for financial reasons, and it was a way to get money. Now, us children, it was very normalized. So for me, watching the adult women get dressed up and put perfume on and makeup on, which was absolutely forbidden in the group, it almost looked glamorous to me. It looked like, maybe if I didn't die as a martyr and I was able to make it to adulthood, maybe I could put some makeup on and be glamorous as well.
Well, now, Joaquin Phoenix and Rose McGowan grew up in this cult. Why doesn't this surprise you?
So we were taught as children, and we trained to be performers, to constantly have a smile on our face and to show the world how happy we were. We were taught to sell the invisible. So it doesn't surprise me that people from our group have gone on to be in the performance industry and be very good at it, because as children, we were very good at it.
Two of your abusers, and I say that loudly, abusers, now run the cult under a different name. How is that possible? What's going on there?
So our group was extremely secretive. We weren't taught the names, the legal names of anybody. We constantly were trafficked and moved from place to place. So it's very hard to locate where we were when what happened, who was there, what their name was. They did a lot of shell things where they had somebody else own or rent the property. It's just they're good at hiding. I don't think they're too good. I think the authorities, if they wanted to find them, they could. We know Karen Zerbe is still out there. That is her legal name. We know that Sarah Kelly, who was responsible for me being incarcerated in the Philippines in a prison camp made by the cult, she was there. She's still roaming free. So we could get them, but it's also, I think it's difficult to know how are we going to prosecute them. We don't have photographic evidence. We don't have, our passports were burned.
Wow, they were careful.
So it's very complicated.
Listen, as a parent, I'm just infuriated. And I know that becoming a mom was a very big part of your recovery. Can you talk about that?
So first of all, we think of the Children of God as 10,000 members who are all abusive pedophiles, and that wasn't the case. Most of our parents, most of the people in the cult, even the first generation, they were also abused. They were also trapped in a destructive group, and they were forced to do things against their will. So I'm really proud of the adults who have gotten out, and I'm really rooting for them in their recovery. As to me personally, being a mom and having children was one of the best things that could have happened to me because I didn't have a childhood. So for me to bake chocolate chip cookies with my children, or go to the park with them, or read books. I remember reading my first books with my children. And so I've been able to kind of have a childhood vicariously through them.
As a survivor, what are some of the things that you want people to take away from your story?
Cults have been part of our history since the beginning of time. They're not going to go away. The best thing we can do is educate ourselves.
We really appreciate you taking the time to share your story with us. And again, you're definitely a very special person. We appreciate you. We'll be right back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.